This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by I'm standing here with Bill D. from Manchester, and you were one of the activists who lived in New Hampshire long before the Free State Project, I think, correct?
Yes, I've lived here for 30 years.
But you are very much a part of this community now. And this is very much a part of your community now.
It is.
And you've got quite a bit of stuff done as an activist. You've been at a lot of events, and I'm curious as to what accomplishment you're most proud of that you've undertaken.
Well, you know, as I was just saying, it's been to so many events, it starts to become a blur, and it's hard to recall. But I've spent a lot of time in courtrooms over the last year, and it's something that I never thought I would do because I've always been very uncomfortable in courtrooms. But now that's completely turned around, and I feel very good in courtrooms, and it doesn't intimidate me at all. And I like going there because not only am I supporting fellow activists that need support, but I also get to interact with just ordinary civilians that are in there for their first time possibly, and explain to them some of the things, some of the options that they have instead of just pleading guilty. And actually have saved a few people from paying hefty fines by being there at the right time.
Average folks who you didn't even know you were going to run into that day.
Right. Just sitting in the foyer waiting for court to start.
Any particular anecdotes of any one situation that was more interesting than others, or?
I can think of one time, maybe about 6 months ago, that we were in Manchester District Court, and a fellow couldn't pay the fine for a traffic violation. It was a $150 fine, and the court offered to let him spend 3 days in jail over the weekend, so he wouldn't impact his job. And the fellow was an immigrant. I think he was from Somalia, and he spoke very, very good English, but he seemed a little overwhelmed by the proceedings.
Who wouldn't?
And afterwards, outside the courthouse, I saw him on the sidewalk, and I went over to him, and I said, you know, you don't know me from a hole in the wall. I says, and I hope you don't find this too bizarre. I said, but I want to give you a tip. If you're going to spend the weekend in jail, and are you worried about it? He says, yes, I'm very scared. I don't want to go to jail. And I says, when you get there, they're going to ask you to have a shot, a test for diseases. I said, if you refuse that test, they will keep you segregated from the rest of the population. You'll have your own private location. You'll shower by yourself. You won't have to worry about anybody, you know, attacking you or anything like that. And he was just so grateful that I gave him this information, and that he wouldn't have to be in the general population.
And of course, you were there at these court hearings, though, to support some other activist user that was already there, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And that's also, how has that generally worked out for you? Or do you have one anecdote that's more interesting than any of the others with the activists going to jail?
Well, I have my own anecdote where I fought a speeding ticket in Laconia District Court, and I was successful. And I came into court with about 10 pages worth of documentation, and I just sat down at the table and immediately started objecting to everything. As soon as the prosecutor came to the stand, I objected because it was a police officer and not a member of the bar, and I just caught them off guard.
That's great.
And my radar speeding ticket ended up taking almost an hour of court time.
Yeah.
And I was found not guilty. And that was pretty exciting for me.
That's a multiple victory, because even if you just get in there and take up some of their time, the courts apparently in New Hampshire are the weak link in the whole chain.
Yes.
They're running more and more out of money. One thing I've tried to do, one thing I've started trying to do, just barely started really, but it's just when I get a chance to interact with any court bureaucrat that I think has just a little bit of power, just ask them about that. Hey, how's that going with you guys running low on money, and how they able to process cases, and I'll try to gently, if I'm on good terms with them, push forward that idea. Well, have you considered, what's the percentage of cases that are victimless, and have you considered maybe deprioritizing some of those, or null processing them, or dismissing them, or focusing more on the cases that hurt somebody. And although I've only done it once, I think that approach also could have an impact. So not only are we, we're not just laughing at them for the fact that they're running out of money, but hopefully we're also, nudging them toward a solution that would help everybody.
Yes. I agree with that. And I've seen many bureaucrats not know what to do when they see the amount of support that some of the activists get. You know, they don't expect 20, 30 people to show up for a court appearance that they think is basically they're going to plead out, and it doesn't happen. In fact, just last week we had a court appearance. 2 weeks ago we had a court appearance where the court dropped the charges, and we immediately filed a motion objecting to the court dropping the charges.
And they'd never seen that before.
Which they'd never ever seen before. So
right.
you know, there's a lot of gratification involved in something like that.
All right. Well, keep at it, Bill. You do something out there that I don't do, because I get excruciatingly bored in court, but I'm glad you don't.
Thank you, Dave. I'm going to try.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye.